Let me start with a question that is going to make some of you uncomfortable. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many months could you survive? 1 month, 3, or 6? Or will you be selling your belongings by next week? I am not asking to judge you. I'm asking because I want you to meet Timothy, a young man who had everything: a great job, nice things, a lifestyle that looked impressive from the outside, and then lost it all because of one thing he never learned: the minimalist money rule. And I also want you to meet John, his college friend, the one nobody expected anything from, the one who wore simple clothes and never seemed to spend too much, the one who quietly, patiently, invisibly was building an empire. By the end of this video, you will look at every purchase you make differently. You will understand discipline differently, and you will understand why the Bible itself says that a good person leaves an inheritance not just for their children, but for their children's children. My name is Dan. Welcome to Invest with Dan. Today, we are going deep. Timothy is a 25 years old, fresh out of university, sharp as blade, warm-hearted, hardworking, the kind of person everyone loves because his energy is magnetic and his smile is genuine. And then the job comes, the real job. A good salary, money hitting his account every month with his name on it. And Timothy does what Timothy has always done. He leaves. Now let me be fair to Timothy. He is not a bad person. He is a good person who simply never learned a specific set of rules about money. His parents never taught him. His school never taught him. Nobody in his circle was talking about it. So Timothy created his own philosophy about money, and he lived by it every single day. His philosophy was simple. We made the money on earth, and absolutely no one is going away with it. You have heard some version of this before. Life is short. Enjoy it. You only live once. Money comes and goes. But Timothy took that seed and watered it with zero financial discipline. And what grew was not a tree of joy. It was a forest of debt, waste, and eventual collapse. Timothy buys the nicest things. The latest phone, not because his old one was broken, but because the new one was just dropped. The expensive clothes, not because he needed them, but because they were trending. He upgrades his apartment, gets the car, eats at the best restaurants, go on the trips. Every single month, the salary comes in and the salary goes out, sometimes before it even fully arrives. Did Timothy invest? Not once. Did Timothy save consistently? Never. Did Timothy have a financial plan? He had the opposite. A lifestyle designed to consume every single cent he ever made. The lifestyle was real. The wealth was an illusion. And then, the thing no one ever plans for but everyone is vulnerable to happened. Timothy lost his job. Job loss is not always because someone is bad at their work. Company downsize, industry shifts, contract ends. Life is unpredictable in ways that no amount of hard work can always protect against. Timothy lost his job and he reached out into his financial life to find the safety net he had always assumed was there. There was nothing, no savings, no investment, no emergency fund, no buffer, just a lifestyle that required a full salary to maintain and a salary that was suddenly gone. The rent came due, he could not pay it. The car repayment came, he could not pay them. The bills, the subscriptions, the obligation that had quietly built up over years of living beyond his actual means. And so Timothy started selling the nice things he had bought to celebrate himself. He started letting them go one by one. The gadgets, the clothes, the furniture, each sale a quiet surrender. Each transaction a reminder of choices made without thinking about its moment. He sold the car, and when the car was gone, there was almost nothing left. I want you to sit with that image because this is not abstract. This is the reality that an overwhelming number of people are 1, 2, or 3 bad months away from right now. Today, regardless of what their social media shows, Timothy was not uniquely unlucky. Timothy was unprepared. And the difference between those things is everything. One Thursday evening, not a special evening, not a moment he had been waiting for, Timothy was walking the streets, not for exercise, not for leisure, but because walking was free, and free was what he could afford. And then he saw it, a job vacancy notice on a building. Something in him stirred, not excitement exactly, more like desperation mixed with just hope to keep moving. He applied, he prepared, and on the day of the interview, he walked into the office and froze because sitting behind the desk in a well-fitted suit, in a well-appointed office, in what was clearly his company was John. John from college. The same John who wore simple clothes back in school. The same John who never seemed to spend money on anything impressive. The same John who Timothy had quietly underestimated because the unconscious social calculation had always said whoever had the nicest thing is winning. Questions exploded in Timothy's mind. How? When? How does someone who barely bought decent clothes in university end up owning a company? What happened? What did he know that I did not? The interview happened. Timothy got through it, and afterward, not able to contain his curiosity, he asked John for hangout, a real conversation, an honest one. John agreed. They sat down together and Timothy asked the question directly. John, how? How did you get here? Because from where I was sitting in college, I never saw this coming. You never had expensive things. You never looked like you were building anything. How? John smiled. Not a proud smile, not a showing off smile, a quiet smile. The kind you wear when you have been carrying a truth for a long time and finally get to share it. He said, I follow the minimalist money rule. John leaned in. Timothy leaned in. John continued. I decided early that anything I cannot afford twice, I am not buying. If I cannot pay for it once and have enough left for it to pay it again, it is not for me right now. The one rule alone removed almost every bad financial decision from my life. But John, you could afford things in college. I know you could. Why didn't you spend? John nodded. I could have bought almost anything I wanted. An entire boutique of clothes if I wanted. But I chose discipline over desire. Not because I was suffering, not because I was afraid to enjoy life, but because I understood something early that most people understand too late. He paused, then he said it slowly. The money you spend today is the wealth you are removing from your future. And the money you invest today is the inheritance you are building for people who have not even been born yet. Timothy went quiet. John leaned forward. I put my money into stocks and mutual fund from as early as I could. Not thousands as first, small amounts, consistent, every month without fail. I let compound interest do the work that most people want to do themselves by spending and chasing. I did not do it for the car or for people to be impressed by me. I did it because even if I never get to spend all of it myself, even if I leave this earth before I see the full result, the wealth I build will still be here for my children, for their children. John looked at Timothy directly. The Bible says it plainly. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. That is a generational vision, not about today, about building something that outlives you. Timothy did not speak for a long moment, and then quietly, without embarrassment, he shed tears. Not tears of shame, not tears of regret alone, tears of revelation. The kind that comes with something shit so fundamentally inside you that you can feel your old self making room for someone new. Now let me break down exactly what the minimally money rule is. Because it is more than just spending less. It is a complete philosophy about the relationship between you and what you own. Principle 1. If you cannot afford it twice, you cannot afford it. The single rule eliminates impulse buying. It eliminates lifestyle creep. It eliminates the financial anxiety that comes from spending right up to the edge of what you earn. It forces you to ask not just, can I pay for this, but can I pay for this and still be financially comfortable? Principle 2. Separate your identity from your possessions. We live in a world that constantly tells us what we own reflects who we are. The phone you carry, the car you drive, the clothes you wear. But the minimalist money rule says something's completely different. Your net worth is not your self-worth. Your possession is not your identity. What you own is temporary. What you build lasts. And the person who understands this early will almost always outpace the person still trying to prove their value through purchases at 50 years old. Principle 3. Invest before you enjoy. Not instead of enjoying before. The question before every discretionary purchase is, have I invested this month? If the answer is no, the investment comes first. Always, without exception. Money that goes into the market at 25 is worth dramatically more than money that goes in at 45. Every month you delay investing is a month of compound growth traded for a purchase that will depreciate or disappear. Principle 4. Build for generations, not just for yourself. Most people build their financial lives around one lifetime, their home. But generational wealth thinking operates on a completely different timeline. It asks, what am I building that will be standing when I'm gone? John answered that question with stocks and mutual fund and disciplined investing, not because he expected to see every result in his lifetime, but because he understood that the seed you plant do not always bloom for you, and that is completely fine. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, not just children, children's children. That is a 20, 30, 40-year vision. Philosophy without action changes nothing. Here is how you actually apply the minimalist money rule. Step 1. Audit your current spending honestly. Get your last 3 months of bank statement, every transaction, every subscription, every purchase. Categorize ruthlessly. Needs versus wants. Rent, food, utilities, healthcare. These are needs. Everything else wants that are negotiable. Most people doing this exercise for the first time are genuinely shocked. Subscriptions they forgot. Recurring purchase adding up to hundreds monthly. Small daily expenses compounding into significant annual wealth. See the full picture first, then change it. Step 2. Apply the afford it twice filter. Before any non-essential purchase above a threshold set, ask, if I buy this right now, can I buy it again and still be comfortable? If no, wait. This is not about never enjoying nice things. It is about only buying them when you can genuinely afford them, not when you can barely squeeze them out of your monthly income. Step 3. Automate your investment before spending. Set up an automatic transfer on payday, a fixed percentage, even 5% to start. Go straight to your investment account before you have a chance to spend it. Once it is in the investment account, treat it as gone. Let it sit and grow. For beginners, index fund tracking your country's major market index are the lowest risk, most historically proven starting point. Step 4. Set a lifestyle ceiling and defend it. When your income grows, your investment grows. Your lifestyle stays at the same ceiling until your investments are generating enough to sustainably support an upgrade. Grow your portfolio before you grow your lifestyle every time, without exception. Step 5. Define what enough looks like for you. Most people never define enough, so they spend their lives pursuing more things, more status, without ever arriving at satisfaction. Sit quietly and honestly answer one question. What does a life I will be genuinely proud of actually look like? Not on Instagram, not to your peers, for you. When you can answer that, you have a target, and a target is something you can build towards strategically instead of chasing indefinitely. Timothy left that conversation a different person, not because his circumstances had changed. He was still broke, still had nothing, but something had shifted permanently. He unlearned. And I want you to understand how hard that is, because unlearning is more difficult than learning. Learning fills an empty space. Unlearning requires removing something that has been sitting in you for years, something you built an identity around. Timothy looked at his financial life with completely different new eyes. He got the job at John's company. He started earning again, and this time, the first thing he did every payday was not shopping. It was investing. Small amount at first, but consistent every month without fail. He applied the avoid it twice rule. He stopped performing well for others and started building it for himself and for the family he would one day have. And here is what I want you to take from Timothy. It does not matter what you are starting from today. It does not matter whether you are 25 like Timothy was in the beginning, or whether you are looking at this video at 35 or 45 and feeling the weight of years of financial decisions you wish you could redo. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. And every day you apply this minimalist money rule is a day that compounds forever. Every investment you make for this moment is a seed being planted in a soil that will still be fertile long after you are gone. Your children will benefit. Their children will benefit. And if you do not have children, you can build an institution, a legacy, a foundation. Wealth built with discipline and patience outlives the person who built it every single time. Let me close with this word that moved Timothy to tears. Proverbs 13:22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, not just their children, their children's children. Think about the vision embedded in that statement. 2 generations forward, a person who is building today for people who have not yet been born. A person whose discipline and sacrifice will create opportunities for lives they will never live to see directly. That is not just financial wisdom. That is love in its most patient and powerful form. John understood this. Timothy understood it late, but he understood it. And I want you to understand it today. The minimalist money rule is not about suffering. It's not about deprivation. It is about never enjoying life. It is about choosing what you build over what you buy. It is about choosing legacy over lifestyle. It is about choosing your children's children over your Instagram feed. You are capable of this. Start small. Stay consistent. Remove what is not serving your future. Build what you outlast your presence. That is the minimalist money rule, and it might be the most important thing you ever apply in your financial life. If this video taught you, share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this today. Like it if it changed your thinking even slightly. Subscribe to this channel for content like this every single week. I'll see you in the next one. Stay minimal. Stay building.